It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in ahead of, I've been saying it all morning, a bumper weekend of sport. But a fantastic year of sport continues now. From one iconic circuit to another's weekend, the Formula One circus heads to the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. Butchered that, I'm sure. But it's one of the greatest tracks on the planet with so much history. And, of course, a lot of that centred around the Italian Grand Prix. Just a few days ago, of course, Charles Leclerc won a very emotional Belgian Grand Prix, it must be said, for Ferrari, giving them their first win in probably about a year, it seems. Can he do it again? Can his team do it again? Is he going to be better than Vettel? Is Hamilton anywhere in the mix? Of course he is going to be. What is going to be going down? Let's find out for a young man who seems to have his heart out there on the track as well. Charlen Raymond, motoring journalist. Charlen,
Graham, thanks.
Love you, dude. Thanks for bringing so much energy with you last week. It was a very emotional Belgian Grand Prix in light of obviously what had gone on in the world of motorsport. Now we have to shift gears very dramatically, yes. Excuse the pun. But to a track that must be one of the most historic, not just because of the emotional attachment to Ferrari and motorsport, but I think that Monza has got to be one of the most iconic tracks.
Yes, Graham, I don't know if you know, but that track's been part of Formula One along with Silverstone since the very beginning, since 1950 when Formula One started.
OG, man.
It's a real OG. And all of the years, ever since over the next 60, almost 70 years, it's been there. And every race has been held at Monza, except for 1980. All of the races has been held there, and Monza is also one of the fastest racetracks in Formula One. Last year, Kimi Räikkönen set the fastest average speed for around a Formula One racetrack, 263.5 kilometers per hour.
In a Ferrari.
In a Ferrari. So clearly then, Ferrari, they do have some kind of edge at Monza because it's a track that's going to benefit a powerful engine.
A car that's great on a straight line.
And Ferrari, they do have that. So
when we look at Schumacher and Hamilton, I mean, this is where the true might of Hamilton comes to bear when you're no longer saying he's going to be, but you're starting to include him in the same sentence as Schumacher, saying they've both had 5 wins. They're very successful. Vettel, who is also still a great champion in his own right, has had 3 wins there. We know that. But what, from your sense of where we were and with the Belgian Grand Prix and where we're headed now, I suppose most of the chat has got to be around Charles Leclerc and can he do it again?
Definitely.
Surely now this is his opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Should we be talking about Vettel as well?
I think we should, but I do also believe that Charles Leclerc is the informed driver at the moment. He will definitely get pole position, that's what I believe, and I do think he has a very good chance of winning again on Sunday. The challenge for Vettel will be to understand his car better, because currently he can't find that perfect setup. Him and the car, they are not clicking yet. So he can do something, he can give Leclerc a run for his money, but the battle ultimately will again be between Leclerc and Hamilton.
Can Hamilton win this? That being said, is there enough in the car? Mercedes have been phenomenal and reliable, consistent, hence why they are edging out in front. Can that count for anything on a track like this? Is it all brute force?
Definitely. Because last year, if we go back to last year again, while Räikkönen set the fastest average time of 263.5. Hamilton was 263.1. When they started the race, Hamilton passed Vettel, and the two of them connected on track, and Vettel spun out. Meaning, even though the Ferrari is fast, the McLaren is just as fast. And also, Hamilton is very quick off the line when the lights go out.
And you get a sense that, and I mean ego in the right sense, because a race driver has to have a massive ego. They've got to back themselves, because the margins, as you've just highlighted, are literally seconds, split seconds apart. And you get a sense there's going to be a bit of a pushback after recent weeks and what he's been through. Who else is in the mix here? Is this completely a 2-horse race?
I do think it's a 2-horse race. We can also say maybe Valtteri Bottas, Hamilton's teammate, he will be there. But we've seen that Hamilton has already got the better of his teammate. So Bottas is basically just going to be playing the support role. Max Verstappen, maybe only if something happens to the front runners.
For a driver like Max, and we've seen him, he's coming into his own, maybe not quite mature enough to make the right decisions,
Yes,
as we've seen
yes.
at critical moments. What is going to be the most exciting part, knowing the speed of a track like this, knowing the history of a track like this? What do you think is going to be the drama? Because we've seen drama. It must be said, Formula One gets painted with this very undramatic, kind of not very competitive brush, but we've seen a very different complexion this season.
The excitement for qualifying will be to see a Ferrari getting pole position.
pole.
Either the first place or both positions. That's going to be the big thing, and Italy will go into overdrive. The other big thing is if Ferrari should win on Sunday, and whether it is Leclerc or Vettel, it will
be a public holiday.
It will be a public holiday. Because I do believe that Spa last week and Monza this week will be Ferrari's best chances of actually winning races this year. Because I do think that for the rest of the season, Hamilton and Mercedes, they will just dominate or continue to dominate.
I was going to say, already with a very healthy lead on both of the big competitions there, especially on the driver's side. Hamilton has proven his mettle, but adjust your eyes for monochrome and the chrome of red, because it's going to be just the stands, I think, are going to be a sight to behold at Monza.
Yes,
iconic
definitely.
track, as we've just heard, since the 50s, it's been one of the original tracks, so much history, but will we see history being rewritten and a new young man etching his name down again? Charles Leclerc is in the pound seat. Buddy, enjoy. I can see how excited you are. Soak it up, man. Get your round if you're a Ferrari fan, but maybe all of us could be just for this 1 week.
Just for this one week.